Hi everyone. Before we get started, make sure to hit that subscribe button and drop a comment telling me where you're watching from. Now, let's jump into today's story. The group chat exploded at 7 a.m. on a Saturday morning. Family barbecue today at Diane's. 2 p.m. Be there. My older sister Diane never asked. She announced. I scrolled through the messages while feeding my youngest, Emma, her breakfast. My phone buzzed with individual texts next. From my brother Kyle, hope you can get a sitter. This is an adult's thing. From Diane, casual but nice. You know what I mean. I knew exactly what she meant. Don't show up in your mom uniform of yoga pants and a stained t-shirt. Don't remind everyone that you stayed home while we built careers. I stared at my reflection in the kitchen window. At 38, I looked tired. 3 kids will do that. My hair was in the same messy bun I'd worn for a decade. No makeup. My MIT engineering degree gathering dust in a frame somewhere in the garage. Mommy, can I have more juice? Emma's voice pulled me back. Sure, baby. I poured her apple juice, my hands moving on autopilot. I should have said no to the barbecue. But something stopped me. Maybe it was the email I'd gotten yesterday. The one I'd been waiting 6 months for. The one that changed everything. This time will be different, I whispered to myself, though I wasn't sure I believed it. Diane's house was exactly what you'd expect from a corporate VP. Modern, cold, expensive. Everything in shades of grey and white. The kind of place where you're afraid to let your kids touch anything. I pulled up in my minivan, a 2015 model with Cheerio crumbs in every crevice and a broken DVD player. Kyle's Tesla was already in the driveway. So was my younger sister Rachel's Mercedes. And Diane's Range Rover sat in the garage like a throne. Remember, I told my kids as we walked to the door. Inside voices. Stay where I can see you. My son Tyler, age 10, rolled his eyes. He'd been to enough family gatherings to know the drill. We were the charity cases. The ones everyone whispered about. Diane opened the door wearing white jeans and a silk blouse. Who wears white jeans to a barbecue? Sarah. You made it. She air-kissed near my cheek. And you brought the whole crew. How nice. The pause before nice said everything. Inside, the house buzzed with family. My parents were there. Kyle and his wife Jennifer. Rachel and her fiancé Derek. Various aunts and uncles. Even Diane's boss, Mr. Peterson, which seemed weird for a family barbecue. Sarah. My mom rushed over, hugging me tight. Then quieter. Did you bring something for the kids to eat? You know Diane's doing that organic catering thing. I brought snacks in my bag. Mom patted my arm sympathetically. Like I was a struggling single mom instead of a married woman with 3 healthy kids. Kyle appeared with a beer, his tech startup hoodie somehow looking both casual and expensive. Hey, sis. How's retirement treating you? I'm not retired, Kyle. I'm raising children. Right. He took a long drink. That's definitely a full-time job. I just mean, you know, career-wise. Must be nice to opt out of the rat race. My jaw clenched. Must be. The backyard was magazine perfect. String lights. A professional grill setup. Catered food on fancy platters. I helped my kids fix plates while Rachel cornered me by the drinks table. Sarah, we need to talk. She glanced around, lowering her voice. It's about Mom and Dad's retirement. Okay. We're all pitching in. Kyle, Diane, and me. To help them with their expenses. Medical bills, the house, you know. She paused. We didn't include you in the planning because, well, we know money's tight. Heat crept up my neck. I can contribute. No. We've got it covered. Honestly, just focus on your family. We understand your situation. My situation. Like I was unemployed instead of choosing to be home with my kids. Kyle's putting in $20,000, Rachel continued. I'm doing $15,000. Diane's doing $25,000 since she makes the most. We just wanted you to know we've got Mom and Dad covered. No pressure on you. She said it kindly. But the message was clear, we're the successful ones. We'll handle the adult responsibilities. That's generous of you all, I managed. We just want to help. And honestly, Sarah, between you and me, she leaned closer. I worry about you. 15 years out of the workforce. No recent skills. If something happened to Mike, what would you do? My husband Mike worked as a high school teacher. Good man. Decent salary. But in my family's eyes, we were barely scraping by. I'd figure it out. Of course you would. You're strong. But maybe think about going back to work. Even part-time. The kids are in school now. You could do something with your degree. Start small, work your way back up. I wanted to scream. Instead, I smiled. I'll think about it. Dinner was an exercise in humiliation. We all gathered around Diane's huge outdoor table. She stood to make a toast, wine glass catching the string lights. I want to thank everyone for coming today. Family is everything to me. She paused for effect. I also want to share some exciting news. This week, I was promoted to Senior Vice President of Operations. It's been 15 years of hard work, late nights, and dedication. But it's worth it. Everyone clapped. Dad beamed with pride. Speech. Kyle called out. Diane laughed. I'm not done. I also want to recognize my team here. Kyle, your analytics platform has been crucial to our growth. We've integrated it company-wide. And Rachel, your marketing firm's campaign increased our visibility by 300%. This is what happens when talented people collaborate. She raised her glass. To family. To success. To the future. To success, everyone echoed. I sipped my wine, feeling invisible. After the toast, Diane's boss Mr. Peterson stood. I'd like to add something. Diane is being modest. Under her leadership, our company has seen unprecedented growth. She's the future of this organization. More applause. Diane glowed. Then Kyle stood, clearly buzzed. You know what's crazy? All of us, Diane, Rachel, me, we all went to good schools. Got great jobs. Built careers. And Mom and Dad's investment paid off. He gestured around with his beer. Education is everything, right? Absolutely, Diane agreed. Kyle's eyes landed on me. I mean, Sarah went to MIT. MIT. Top engineering school in the country. And she just stopped. 15 years at home. Sometimes I think about what she could have contributed to the field if she'd stayed. Such a waste of talent. The table went quiet. Kyle, my mom said softly. No, I'm just saying. It's fine she chose to stay home. That's valid. But imagine if she'd used her degree. She could have been running engineering teams. Inventing things. Instead. He trailed off, but the damage was done. Instead, I was nothing. I think raising children is important work, Mike said, his voice tight. Oh, totally. Kyle backpedaled. Super important. I just mean, you know, professionally. Career-wise. Objectively speaking, it's a waste of an MIT degree to spend 15 years doing laundry and making lunches. Rachel jumped in, trying to help. What Kyle means is Sarah had potential for a big career. But she chose family. That's admirable in its own way. Admirable in its own way. Like a consolation prize. Diane added, I think we all wonder sometimes what Sarah would be doing if she'd stayed in engineering. But she made her choice. Some people are ambitious. Some people are content with simple lives. Simple lives. The words hung there. I looked at my kids. Tyler was staring at his plate, ears red. He understood what was happening. My daughter Lily, age 8, was oblivious, playing with her food. Emma was falling asleep in her booster seat. Excuse me, I stood abruptly. I need to check on Emma. I carried my sleeping toddler inside, my throat tight with unshed tears. In Diane's pristine guest bathroom, I stared at myself in the mirror. 15 years of sacrifice. Of putting my kids first. Of middle-of-the-night fevers and school projects and emotional support. Of building humans into good people. And to them, I'd wasted my life. My phone buzzed. An email notification. Subject: Acquisition complete, congratulations. I read it once. Twice. Then I started laughing, tears mixing with the sound. When I returned to the table, Kyle was telling a story about his latest funding round. Everyone listened, impressed. I sat down quietly. Mike gave me a concerned look, but I shook my head slightly. Anyway, Kyle continued, we're projecting $50 million in revenue next year. It's insane. I never thought my little startup would get this big. That's wonderful, honey, Mom said. Kyle turned to me, emboldened by alcohol and audience. Sarah, I've been thinking. My company is hiring. We need someone to do basic data entry. It's entry-level, but it could get your foot back in the door. What do you think? The table watched me. Poor Sarah, getting a pity job offer from her successful little brother. Data entry, I repeated. I mean, you've been out of the field for a while. Can't expect to jump back in at a senior level. You'd need to rebuild your skills. But data entry is a start. You could work from home, work around the kids' schedule. That's kind of you, I said carefully. I'm serious. Jennifer can set up an interview. Right, Jen? His wife nodded enthusiastically. We'd love to help you get back on your feet. Get back on my feet. As if I'd been knocked down. Actually, I said, my voice steady now. I appreciate the offer. But I'm going to have to decline. Kyle blinked. Why? Pride. Sarah, there's no shame in starting over. I'm not starting over. I've been working this whole time. Silence. What do you mean? Diane asked slowly. I took a breath. This was it. The moment I'd been simultaneously dreading and anticipating. I've been running a business. From home. For the past 12 years. Rachel laughed nervously. Like, a side hustle? That's great, Sarah. Every little bit helps. Not a side hustle. An e-commerce company. We sell educational toys and learning materials. Started it when Tyler was 2. That's nice, Mom said encouragingly. A little shop. It's not little. We did $47 million in revenue last year. You could have heard a pin drop. 47. Kyle's face went blank. Million. We have 200 employees. Warehouses in 3 states. International shipping to 40 countries. I built it while nursing babies and attending preschool graduations. Diane's fork clattered to her plate. That's not possible. We would have known. Why would you know? Nobody ever asked what I did all day. You all assumed I was just folding laundry and watching daytime TV. Sarah, Dad said carefully. Is this true? Completely true. The company is called Bright Minds Learning. Maybe you've heard of it. Rachel's fiancé Derek gasped. Bright Minds. My sister buys from them constantly. They're huge. That's mine. I own 100% of it. Built it from our spare bedroom with a $5,000 loan from Mike. Grew it slowly, carefully, while raising our children. Mike was grinning now, proud. Kyle found his voice. But, your house. Your van. You live so modestly. Because we reinvest profits back into the business. And because I don't need a Range Rover to feel successful. I need a car that fits 3 car seats and has room for soccer gear. Why didn't you tell us? Mom whispered. Would you have listened? Every time I tried to talk about my work, you changed the subject. Or made comments about my little hobby. So I stopped trying. Diane was shaking her head. This doesn't make sense. If you're so successful, Why haven't you contributed to Mom and Dad's retirement fund? Ah, there it was. Because, I said calmly, I already paid off their mortgage. Last year. They didn't tell you? Mom and Dad exchanged glances. And I've been covering Dad's medical bills for the past 3 years. The expensive treatments insurance wouldn't cover. Didn't they mention that either? My parents looked at their plates, tears in Mom's eyes. We didn't want to make a big deal, Dad said quietly. Sarah asked us not to tell you kids. She didn't want to embarrass anyone. Embarrass us? Rachel's voice pitched high. She was protecting your feelings, Mom said. While you all assumed she needed protecting. Kyle was doing math in his head, I could see it. Wait. If you're doing $47 million in revenue, what's your profit margin? About 15% after expenses. Why? That's over $7 million in profit. Annually. Give or take. He looked sick. Diane finally spoke. Why are you telling us this now? I reached into my bag and pulled out a folder. I'd printed the email just in case. Because yesterday, I closed on an acquisition. I've been expanding into tech, developing educational software. I needed physical office space and an established team. So I bought a company. I slid the papers across to Diane. Congratulations on your promotion to Senior VP. You're going to be working very hard in your new role. I expect excellent results from my investment. Diane's hands shook as she read. Her face went from confusion to shock to pure white. You bought TechCore Solutions? I did. Closed yesterday. Paid in cash. Well, technically, wire transfer. TechCore is my company. Where I work. Where you used to work for Mr. Peterson. Now you work for me. Well, technically for Bright Minds Learning, LLC, which I own. Mr. Peterson is staying on as a consultant during the transition, but I'm the new owner. Mr. Peterson shifted uncomfortably. I was going to tell you Monday, Diane. The sale happened very quickly. Diane looked at her boss, former boss, betrayed. You sold to my sister? To Sarah. I sold to the highest bidder with the best vision for the company's future. I didn't realize you were related until this morning when she mentioned coming to a family barbecue. That wasn't entirely true. I told him. But he was being diplomatic. Kyle found his voice. Your analytics platform. That we integrated company-wide. That means your company now pays licensing fees to my company. Quite substantial ones, actually. Thank you for the integration. It increased the purchase value significantly. Rachel looked like she might cry. The marketing campaign I ran for TechCore. You're saying, I'm now your client. And I have notes on the last campaign. We'll discuss them Monday. The backyard was dead silent except for crickets and my kids playing on the swing set, oblivious to the atomic bomb I just dropped. I don't understand, Diane whispered. How did you do this? How did you build all this while you what? While you dismissed me, pitied me, made jokes about my wasted degree? We didn't mean. Yes, you did. You all did. Every family gathering for 15 years. Every comment about my simple life or my potential. You made it clear I was the failure of the family. That's not fair, Kyle protested. Isn't it? You literally offered me data entry work 10 minutes ago. Entry level. At your startup that does $50 million in revenue. I do $47 million. We're basically the same size. Did you offer me a C-suite position? Ask if I wanted to invest. He had no answer. Here's what's going to happen, I continued, my voice steady. Monday morning, I'm announcing the acquisition publicly. There will be some restructuring. Nothing drastic, but I have plans for TechCore's future. Diane, your job is safe if you want it. In fact, I'm hoping you'll stay. You're good at what you do. You're hoping. Diane's voice cracked. I own the company now. I could fire everyone and start over. But that's not who I am. I'm not cruel. I'm not petty. I'm a businesswoman who saw an opportunity and took it. This feels pretty petty, Rachel muttered. Does it? You all spent 15 years telling me I wasted my life. That I was nothing. That I should be grateful for your charity and your pity jobs. I didn't buy TechCore to humiliate you, Rachel. I bought it because it fit perfectly into my expansion strategy. The fact that Diane works there is just coincidence. But we both knew that wasn't entirely true. When I'd seen TechCore was for sale, when I'd realized Diane worked there, something in me had shifted. The opportunity was too perfect. Mom, Dad, I turned to my parents. I'm sorry I didn't tell you about the business earlier. I wanted to prove I could do it. That choosing to stay home didn't mean giving up on ambition. Mom was crying openly now. Sweetheart, we're so proud of you. Are you? Because you've spent 15 years looking at me like I was a disappointment. We never. You did, Mom. Maybe not on purpose. But you did. Dad cleared his throat. Sarah, we owe you an apology. A big one. We got caught up in traditional measures of success. Office jobs, titles, salaries we could brag about. We didn't see what you were building. In your spare bedroom, Kyle said, still processing. You built a $47 million company in your spare bedroom. Between diaper changes and nap times. Yes. While raising 3 kids. Yes. How? I smiled. I'm really good at time management. And I had something to prove. The barbecue ended awkwardly. People didn't know what to say to me anymore. The family failure had become the family success story, and it broke everyone's brain. As we packed up to leave, Diane caught my arm. Sarah, wait. I turned. She looked destroyed. Her perfect evening, her big announcement, all overshadowed. I'm sorry, she said. For everything. Every comment, every look, every assumption. You didn't deserve it. No. I didn't. Why didn't you tell us sooner? Why let us go on thinking? Because I wanted to see who you really were. When you thought I was beneath you. When you thought I was safe to mock. I shifted Emma on my hip. And you showed me. All of you did. That's cruel, Sarah. Is it? Or is it honest? She had no answer. Your job is safe, I said again. Come to the office Monday. We'll talk about your role going forward. I meant what I said, you're good at what you do. I need good people. As my boss. As your boss. She nodded slowly, processing this new reality. Diane, I spent 15 years being invisible to you. Being the sister you were embarrassed by. Now you're going to spend every workday knowing I'm watching. Knowing I'm evaluating your performance. Knowing that the sister you pitted now controls your career. You're enjoying this. I'm not. That's what's sad. I wish it didn't have to be this way. I wish you'd just been proud of me. Curious about my life. Interested in my days. Tears slipped down her cheeks, ruining her perfect makeup. I was jealous, she whispered. Of you. What? You had time with your kids. Real time. Not rushed mornings and exhausted evenings. You were there for every milestone. Every school event. I missed my daughter's first words because I was in a board meeting. I didn't know what to say to that. And then you were building this empire the whole time. While being a present mom. While baking birthday cakes from scratch. While volunteering at school. She laughed bitterly. You did what I couldn't. You had it all. The whole time, you had everything. I didn't have my sister, I said quietly. I didn't have my family's respect. You have it now. Do I? Or do I just have your fear? She flinched. I adjusted my grip on Emma. I need to get the kids home. Bedtime. You understand. Yeah. She wiped her eyes. See you Monday. Boss. The word hung between us, changing everything forever. In the van, Mike took my hand as I drove. You okay? He asked. I don't know. I thought I'd feel triumphant. Vindicated. But I just feel sad. You blew up your family tonight. They blew it up 15 years ago. I just finally fought back. Tyler piped up from the back. Mom, you own Uncle Kyle's company? Not his company. He still owns his startup. But I own a company he works with. And Aunt Diane works for you now? Sort of. That's so cool. His voice was filled with pride. They always acted like you didn't do anything. Like Dad was the only one with a real job. But you're, like, super successful. My throat tightened. You noticed that? The way they treated me. Everyone noticed, Mom. They weren't subtle. From her car seat, Lily added, Aunt Rachel always asks me what I want to be when I grow up. Then she says, make sure you use your degree, unlike your mom. My hands tightened on the steering wheel. She says that to you? All the time. Mike's jaw clenched. I didn't know that. I didn't want to upset you guys, Lily said. But it always made me mad. You're the smartest person I know. I had to pull over. The tears came then, hard and fast. My kids piled out of their seats, hugging me, telling me I was amazing. I'm sorry, I managed. I'm sorry you had to see that tonight. The conflict. The tension. Are you kidding? Tyler said. That was awesome. You're like a superhero with a secret identity. All this time, you were secretly a boss. I laughed through tears. That's one way to look at it. The best way, he insisted. Monday morning arrived too quickly. I dressed carefully. Not in my usual mom clothes, but in a tailored suit I'd bought months ago in preparation for this moment. I did my makeup. Straightened my hair. Put on heels for the first time in years. Mike whistled when I came downstairs. There's my CEO. Too much. You look incredible. Go show them who you are. The TechCore offices were in a downtown high-rise. I'd been there once before, for a tour during the acquisition negotiations. But today was different. Today, everyone would know who I was. Mr. Peterson met me in the lobby. Ready? As I'll ever be. We rode the elevator to the top floor. My floor now. My company. There's been some chatter, Mr. Peterson warned. Diane told people. About your relationship. About the barbecue. I expected that. Some employees are concerned. About favoritism. About qualified people being managed by family members. Diane earned her position. She'll keep it based on merit, not our relationship. The elevator doors opened to reveal a conference room full of TechCore's leadership team, including Diane, who looked like she hadn't slept. I walked in. All conversation stopped. Good morning. For those who don't know me, I'm Sarah Chen, CEO of Bright Minds Learning and now the owner of TechCore Solutions. I know the acquisition came as a surprise. I want to address concerns and outline my vision for the company's future. I clicked to the first slide of my presentation. TechCore has strong bones. Good people. Solid technology. But you've been directionless the past 2 years. Revenue is flat. Innovation has stalled. I'm here to change that. For the next hour, I laid out my plans. Integration with Bright Minds. New product lines. Investment in R&D expansion into educational technology. The leadership team listened, asked questions, gradually relaxed. I knew my stuff. I'd been preparing for this for months. When I finished, the CFO spoke up. This is ambitious. How do you plan to fund it? Bright Minds generates approximately $7 million in annual profit. We'll reinvest aggressively. Plus, I've secured additional financing. Money isn't the constraint. Vision is. And Diane's role? Someone asked carefully. I looked at my sister. She met my eyes, scared and defiant at once. Diane stays as Senior VP of Operations. She's good at her job. My personal relationship with her is irrelevant to her professional performance. If she succeeds, she advances. If she fails, she faces consequences. Same as everyone here. Relief rippled through the room. After the meeting, Diane followed me to my new office. That was professional, she said. Did you expect something else? Honestly, yes. I thought you'd use this to punish me. I sat behind my desk, in my company. I'm not interested in punishment, Diane. I'm interested in building something meaningful. You can be part of that or not. Your choice. I want to be. Then prove it. Show me you're more than a title and a nice office. Show me you can work as hard for me as you did for Mr. Peterson. She nodded. I will. Good. Now, let's talk about the operations restructure. I have thoughts. We worked for 3 hours. It was the longest conversation we'd had in years. And slowly, beneath the professional talk, something started to shift. You really built all this, she said at one point. While making lunches and going to PTA meetings. I really did. How? I worked while kids napped. During preschool hours. After bedtime. I hired help when I could afford it. I was strategic. Focused. And I had something to prove. To us. To myself. To Mom and Dad. To everyone who thought I'd thrown my life away. Diane was quiet for a moment. I told my daughter you were the family failure. That she should learn from your mistakes. The words hit like a slap. She's 8 years old, Sarah. And I poisoned her against you. What kind of person does that? Someone scared, I said quietly. Someone who needs others to be smaller so she can feel big. I'm sorry. I know. Can we fix this? Us. I looked at my sister. Really looked at her. She was tired. Scared. Humbled. I don't know, I admitted. I want to. But 15 years of hurt doesn't disappear overnight. I'll do better. I'll be better. Then start by doing your job. Show up. Work hard. Respect me as your boss. The sister stuff, we'll figure out over time. She nodded and left. I sat alone in my office, looking out over the city. My city now. My company. My empire built from nothing while everyone assumed I was nothing. My phone buzzed. A text from Mom, I'm so proud of you, sweetheart. Can we talk soon? And from Kyle, I underestimated you. Big time. Let's grab coffee. And from Rachel, I'm sorry. That's all. Just sorry. I didn't respond. Not yet. Let them sit with it. Let them understand what it felt like to be dismissed, ignored, underestimated. 6 months later, TechCore was thriving. Our educational software platform was in beta testing. Revenue was up 40%. Stock prices had doubled. And I'd been featured in Forbes as one of the top female CEOs in tech. At Thanksgiving, not at Diane's house this time, but at a neutral restaurant, my family gathered again. The dynamic had shifted. People asked about my work now. Actually listened. Treated my time as valuable. My opinions as expert. Tyler gave the blessing this year. I'm thankful for my mom, who taught me that success isn't about what people think of you. It's about what you build when no one's watching. Everyone nodded. Some people cried. After dinner, Diane caught me alone. I'm resigning, she said. My stomach dropped. Why? Your performance has been excellent. I can't work for you anymore, Sarah. Not because you're a bad boss. Because every day, I walk into that office and I'm reminded of how wrong I was about you. How cruel I was. How blind. Diane. Let me finish. I need to figure out who I am separate from you. From our family. From the competition and comparison. I need to find out if I'm actually good at what I do, or if I've just been performing success while you were living it. I understood. More than she knew. Where will you go? I've been offered a VP position at a startup. Smaller company. Less prestige. But it's mine. My achievement. Not Dad's connections or my husband's money. Mine. That's brave. I learned from the best. She hugged me. Really hugged me, for the first time in years. Thank you for showing me what strength looks like. Today, Bright Minds Learning is a $200 million company. TechCore is our tech division. We employ over 800 people. And I still live in the same house, drive a minivan, and make my kids' lunches. Because none of the external stuff matters. The money, the success, the vindication, it's all just noise. What matters is that I proved something to myself. That I could be a present mother and a successful businesswoman. That I could choose my family without sacrificing my ambition. That I could build an empire from a spare bedroom with a baby on my hip. Kyle and I have coffee monthly now. He's genuinely interested in my strategies. We collaborate sometimes. The competitive edge is gone, replaced by mutual respect. Rachel overhauled her marketing approach after working with me. She's more successful now than ever. We're not close, but we're friendly. Mom and Dad apologized properly. We're working on rebuilding trust. It's slow, but it's happening. And Diane? She texts me sometimes. Updates on her new job. Pictures of her kids. Slowly rebuilding the sister relationship we lost. I'm not sure we'll ever be truly close again. The hurt went too deep. But we're trying. And that's something. If you're reading this and you feel dismissed, underestimated, or invisible, know this. Your worth isn't determined by other people's recognition. Build your empire in the shadows if you have to. Work in the margins. Create during nap times and after bedtimes. And when you're ready, when you've built something undeniable, step into the light. Not for revenge. Not for vindication. But because you deserve to be seen for who you really are. Your degree isn't wasted. Your time isn't wasted. Your choice to put family first doesn't make you less ambitious, it makes you strategic about what success actually means. The sister they pitied became the CEO they reported to. And that's not revenge. That's just truth finally catching up to assumption. Thanks for reading. If this story resonated with you, subscribe and share your own experiences in the comments. You're not alone. Your journey matters. And your success is coming, whether anyone else sees it or not. Next time, we're diving into another story about family secrets and shocking reveals. You won't want to miss it.